Where the 10% project comes somewhat out of is this question that was posed to me, back in 2007, where a farmer came in and he wanted to know what would it take. There was a lot of a lot of interest at that time and a lot of talk about the poor water quality and how we're going to improve it. And he came and said, well, what would it take to get clean water in our watershed? What we found was that really it didn't matter what perennial land use we were looking at. When you combine those perennial land uses and compare them to row crop agriculture, we saw a correlation where, as the higher portion of row crops in a given watershed, the worse the water quality got. When you add up all these different things, what we found was that right around 34% the water quality was what we were hoping to achieve for. When you correlated and followed the curve down the line, as you can see up here, over here, for sediment, as you follow it in, right around 34% area is where we see the water quality achieving that 58 parts per million, which is our goal. We need to have 10% more to achieve the water quality standards that we have set up for ourselves.
So we're bringing together these farmers and landowners to discuss the 10% project and to get their viewpoint, to have them help guide us. How do we need to talk about this to farmers? Do they know farmers that would be willing to make some changes on their land to increase the perennial landscape on their farms in the Chippewa River watershed? We've been implementing BMPs in this watershed for 10 years, but and have been successful at that. But to just get a little more targeted, perhaps, and more aggressive with that. Well, I think those positive changes we're looking at for increasing the perennial landscape would be improved water quality, improved wildlife habitat, and perhaps some avenues for entrepreneurs to move the local food forward, which would have a huge impact on our rural economy out here.
I think what we see on the water quality side is we're suffering from lack of diversity. We need more diversity, more perennial diversity. But on the economy side as well, we can really benefit from more diversity of economies. Right now we have our watershed is dominated by an agricultural economy. 10% of the land is a lot of acres, and there's just no way we're going to be able to do that with public dollars. There's just not enough money available. 1.3 million acres in the Chippewa watershed, 10% of that is 130,000 acres. You quickly exhaust any public funds when you try to take on that kind of acreage. So what we really need to find is a private, profit-driven model that will allow perennials to come back in the landscape.